Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Testing, testing, 1, 2. Hi guys. Hey, man, I really I didn't plan this. It was kind of like sporadic. And my friend Michael Ash had sent me an email. And I don't know if you guys know who Jelly Roll is, but he is a country music slash rapper. And he had a checkered past, but like he is by far one of the biggest like givers back than any other musician out there. He gives back to his community. He's always going into like jails and singing with the guys. He's very faith based now. He like I said, he has a massive checkered past, but uh he gives back. I think he's done prison time if I'm not mistaken. 4 hours ago he graced the Senate with his presence, and I say it like that because he is a very graceful man. No matter what he looks like and no matter what his past is, what matters to me is what he does today. And I can't like look up to him more than I do today. Well, I do look up to him more even today, given the fact that he did what he just did. Now, I have a video and I wanted to play it for you guys. This isn't going to be a very long live today because, again, I didn't plan this out. And I'm hoping that uh, this is going to rumble, but I guess it's not. Eh, Whatever. No big deal. Hopefully, it will go on later. I don't know. Let's remove it then. Remove the destination rumble. I do have you guys. I do have some really big news. I'm really excited about. Actually, I had posted it on my Patreon. They found out like weeks before everybody else will, and I'm not going to spill the beans. It's taking me everything to keep this tight-lipped. But if you guys are new to my channel, right? Uh you may or may not realize that I had a checkered past as well. And by the grace of God, I was literally saved from all of that mess and myself did time in prison. And people wonder why I'm so hard on Hunter Biden is because for me to go to prison for the same thing that Hunter Biden did. Now, it was different substances, but still it's the same law, you know for me to do 3 years in prison and being arrested as many times as I had, and he gets to walk scot free. It's so irritating, and not even just me, the people who are looked down upon because they're going through an addiction, and or the people whom are still today sitting in prison because of Joe Biden's 1994 crime bill. And I hate to make this political, but it is. It is very political because when you open up our borders wide open, it lets fentanyl flood in. And while we're sitting here talking, every 11 seconds, an American dies from fentanyl. Every 11 seconds. That is 300 Americans per year. Okay. I'm sorry, per year. Ha! If it was per year, we wouldn't be sitting here. Per day. 300 Americans a day. I'm glad I caught that one because you said 300. That doesn't sound too bad per year, but yeah, well, it's per day. Now, I hope people can get the gist of how dangerous this stuff really is because, we have these people who don't know what the hell they're doing and they're mixing all this stuff together and putting fentanyl on everything and it's killing everybody. And you would think maybe, just maybe, if Hunter was not into the substance that he is, if he was into fentanyl, then maybe Joe Biden would actually do something about it. But I don't call me crazy, but I really do think that Joe Biden had a personal vendetta against drug dealers since the late 80s, hence why he worked so astringently to get that bill passed in 1994 that punished the drug dealers, right? And the users. I don't understand. I think that he always put blame on the people selling the drugs to Hunter as to why he was so adamant about disrupting and sending people to prison. He inadvertently destroyed families. Okay. Now, the Democratic policies that have kept the Black communities down for half of a century, that's just in recent time. And this half of a century, all of these Democratic policies are keeping the Black communities where they are. So, do you see why a lot of people in the Black community have to sell drugs? Because what else is there? There's no businesses there. It's the schools freaking suck. They don't have anything. And it's like, I do not ding them for having to sell drugs in order to pay their bills and to keep the water on and to keep their heat on. I don't ding people like that. And it sucks because the fentanyl dealers now I feel so differently towards, because a lot of them are from the people that make it is China, and they fly it on over to Mexico, and then the cartels bring it up through the border, and it's like it comes through the ports of entry, it comes through the mail. It's so crazy that they have all of these restrictions on us, the American people, like, oh, if you make over $600 reselling stuff on eBay, you're getting taxed, and we're going to keep track of your bank accounts and your phones now, T-Mobile. If you post something or you have a meme in your phone that you text somebody and they don't like it, they can turn you into the government. It's like, wow. But they don't restrict, like, if you sell or send like 6,000 packages via UPS or FedEx or DHL. They don't keep track of that. There's no system to keep track of people mass sending stuff through the mail, right? You would think that would be a no-brainer, right? No, of course not. We have semis blowing past the customs borders where people can just flood in, not even just people, but in those big massive trucks is a bunch of fentanyl, and it's killing people. So we have a really cool artist, you guys. He may be a son of a sinner, but he really is doing a lot for the community of addicts and people who have family members who are addicts. Before I get into today's video, I really, really, really want to thank Zippix toothpicks. 21 and older, please. You guys, these things have been a lifesaver. I'm not really going to go into a big spiel about them. All I am going to say is that you will notice me not vaping. And these little things are why. And if you use my promo code of just Jen at checkout, you will get 10% off. If you don't like nicotine, they also have like caffeine infused and vitamin B12 infused toothpicks. And if you want your nicotine discreetly, there it is. So I urge you to go over to zippixtoothpicks.com, put in my promo code, and you'll get 10% off your first order. And again, over 21. All right. So now that I've get you a message from today's sponsor, I really want to show you guys this video. It's about 6 minutes long. He did go over his time, but I think every moment and every word needed to be said. And I have to thank Michael for sending this to me as well. So thanks, Mike. I appreciate you. I appreciate you emailing it to me. All right, here we go, y'all. Son of the sinner, saving people. Jelly roll. Probably some.
Snap your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition.
Blah, 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 blah. There we go.
Ford, welcome for your first committee hearing, I assume.
Forgive me, I'm a little nervous. I'm used to having a rock and roll band behind me when I have a microphone in front of me.
Jason DeFord.
During the time that I've been given to share my testimony here, I think it's important to note before I start that in these 5 minutes I'll be speaking that somebody in the United States will die of a drug overdose, and it is almost a 72% chance that during those 5 minutes it will be fentanyl related. Having started that way, Chairman Brown, Ranking Member Scott, and esteemed committee members, thank you for having me. I know this is a bit of a curveball, but I like a little baseball myself. My name is Jason D. Ford, but to most I am known as Jelly Roll. It is important to establish earlier that I am a musician and that I have no political alliance. I am neither Democrat nor Republican. In fact, because of my past, my right to vote has been restricted. Thus far, I have never paid attention to a political race in my life. Ironically, I think that makes me the perfect person to speak about this because fentanyl transcends partisanship and ideology, gentlemen and women. This is a totally different problem.
Well said.
And I was speaking outside to the media, and I gave them a statistic that said 190 people a day overdose and die every single day in the United States of America. That is about a 737 plane. That's what about a 737 aircraft can carry. Could you imagine the national media attention it would get if they were reporting that a plane was crashing every single day and killing 190 people? But
Good
because
point.
it's 190
300
addicts,
now.
we don't feel that way. Because America has been known to bully and shame drug addicts instead of dealing and trying to understand what the actual root of the problem is with that. But the sad news is that narrative is changing too, because the statistics say that in all likelihood, almost every person in this room has lost a friend, family member, or colleague to the disease known as addiction. I've attended more funerals than I care to share with y'all. This committee, I could sit here and cry for days about the caskets I've carried of people I loved dearly, deeply, in my soul, good people, not just drug addicts, uncles, friends, cousins, normal people. Some people that just got in a car wreck and started taking a pain pill to manage it. One thing led to the other. And how fast it spirals out of control, I don't think people truly understand.
That quick.
So many people. Equally, I think it's important for me to tell y'all that I'm not here to defend the use of illegal drugs. And I also understand the paradox of my history as a drug dealer standing in front of this committee. But equally, I think that's what makes me perfect to talk about this. I was a part of the problem. I am here now standing as a man that wants to be a part of the solution. I brought my community down. I hurt people. I was the uneducated man in the kitchen playing chemist with drugs I knew absolutely nothing about, just like these drug dealers are doing right now when they're mixing every drug on the market with fentanyl, and they're killing the people we love. I'll be honest with y'all, my desire is to only get older and only do better and be better.
That's right.
I believed when I sold drugs genuinely that selling drugs was a victimless crime. I truly believe that, y'all. My father always told me what doesn't get you in the wash will get you in the rinse. Now I have a 15-year-old daughter whose mother is a drug addict. Every day I get to look in the eyes of a victim in my household of the effects of drugs every single day. And every single day I have to wonder, me and my wife, if today will be the day that I have to tell my daughter that her mother became a part of the national statistic. History repeats itself, gentlemen. Even in the 1990s, crack cocaine had long made its way into my middle lower class neighborhood. And at that moment, even as a teenager, you could have never convinced me in that moment that there would be a far bigger problem on the horizon in the form of a pharmaceutical drug. And then I watched opioids and Oxycontin burst onto the scene.
Yep.
I'm here to tell y'all that fentanyl is going to make the Sackler family look like saints.
Ooh.
And I want to let y'all sit with that for a second. It is time for us to be proactive and not reactive. We were reactive with crack. We were reactive with opioids. And y'all are taking the first step at somebody in Senate finally being proactive. I truly believe in my heart that this bill will stop the supply and can help stop the supply of fentanyl. But in part of being proactive, gentlemen and women and ladies, I have to be frank and tell y'all that if we don't talk to the other side of Capitol Hill and stop the demand, we are going to spin our tires in the mud. Y'all are taking the first step, but I encourage you to take it outside of this room and you take it to your colleagues and your constituents and you give them the most that you can. I know I've got a few seconds here and Senator Brown said I may or may not go over. All I want to say is that I not only encourage y'all to do this, I encourage y'all to take it a step further. At every concert I perform, I witness the heartbreaking impact of fentanyl. I see fans grappling with this tragedy in the form of music that they seek solace in music and hope that their experiences won't befall others. They crave reassurance. These are the people I'm here to speak for, y'all. These people crave reassurance that their elected officials actually care more about human life than they do about ideology and partisanship. I
Mm.
stand here as a regular member of society. I am a stupid songwriter, y'all, but I have firsthand witnessed this in a way most people have not. I encourage y'all to not only pass this bill, but I encourage you to bring it up where it matters, at the kitchen table.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. D. Ford.
I think that was absolutely brilliant. What the hell are we watching right now? I think that was absolutely brilliant. He called himself a stupid songwriter, but he is so much more than that. I was once a part of the solution, but now or part of the problem. I'm sorry. I was once a part of the problem, but now I want to be a part of the solution. Everybody in the background of that video, you're looking in the eyes of people who lost somebody that they loved to that nasty fentanyl. And I'll tell you, it was hard watching people choke up and cry in the background and wipe their tears away. And politicians just standing there like with their mouths open, catching flies. Like, we have to do something. I don't know if the statistics have been lowered, but at one point there were 300 Americans dying every day. 191 is not much of a difference after all. It's about 98 people. Whoop-de-doo, 99 people. That's not much of a difference. So I'm hoping that not only as the Senate goes after the suppliers with the bills, that they do take it a step further, that they do take, Jelly Roll's words and they do something about it and take it a step further and actually come together, and it's strange that they can come together real quick when it comes to keeping insider trading legal for Congress members. Come together that quick. But when it comes to something like this, you're going to see the yays and the nays all the time. It's so disgusting anymore. It really is. You know, I look out, I'm like outside looking in anymore because I was once a part of that lifestyle, and I thank God every day that I'm not, man. You guys have no, some of you do. I've seen somebody in the comments that, you dealt with fentanyl and opiates, man, and I don't wish that on my worst nightmare. I don't know how I made it, given the fact that I overdosed so many times and I landed up in prison and jail so much. And I went through, gosh knows how many rounds of withdrawal, the most painful experience you'll probably ever go through. You feel like you're going to die. You're not going to, but you feel like you're going to. And I really do love the fact that he was saying, I once thought that drug addiction or selling drugs was a victimless crime. Now, whatever you do in the wash shall come out in the rinse. He's dealing with the consequences of a little dose of karma now, and he's seeing that his actions, drugs are not victimless crimes. Let me tell you, they're really not. And I like that he admits that, and he says, I'm dealing with it now. My 15-year-old daughter, I have to look at her every day in the eyes, basically walking on ice with some combat boots on to say, man, one of these days, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to look at her and break her heart into a million little pieces and let her know her mom is a statistic. It's insane. It really is. It's insane. And I like the fact that he brought up the crack of the 80s, the epidemic of the 80s, but they didn't do shit about it because it was mainly affecting the Black community. So they really weren't like, oh my God, it's an epidemic. No, they literally created the war on drugs because of that. Because, it's just these people are animals and savages. That's what Joe Biden said, not me, Joe Biden. And so then fast forward to the mid 2000s, where Purdue Pharma, which should be burning in hell right now, a lot of these pharmaceutical companies today push these terribly addictive narcotics like Purdue Pharma, the 6th vital sign, all of these pharmaceutical reps were paid exorbitant amount of money to misrepresent this drug as, oh, it's part of the sixth vital sign of chronic pain and you could prescribe it to anybody and it's not addictive. It's not addictive. Yes, it was, and they knew it. They actually knew that OxyContin was very, very, very addictive. And after the OxyContin and Barack Obama was attacking the doctors who were making, their ethics kind of went down the toilet. Barack Obama puts a stop to that, like the pain pill clinics and all this, that, and the other, right? Creates this task force, blah, blah, blah. It's a big deal because it's affecting the white community, and the Democrats who are Democrat socialists like Barack Obama made that perfectly clear and used that as a political means and a pawn to drive a wedge. Oh, they didn't care about the black community when the crack epidemic hit, but as soon as it hits white suburbia with the opiate epidemic, oh boy, it's like this. And I look at it from this perspective. Opiates kill people. Rarely is somebody going to smoke some crack and die, right? Unless they're smoking like 2 8-balls, of course, right? But I look at it that way. It's not a black or white thing because drug addiction is so like, don't care what you look like. It's really non-discriminatory. It don't care if you are white or black or Chinese or Asian or Native American. It don't care if you're an Eskimo. It really don't give a shit. Drug addiction can basically get anybody. It doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. It doesn't matter if you are rich or you're poor, if you're fat or you're skinny, if you're a doctor, if you're a police officer or you're homeless. Doesn't matter. It can get you, and oh man, the thralls of addiction is something that I never ever want to experience again. I really don't. So I really think that Jelly Roll, the song Save Me comes to mind, and he saved a lot of people and he uses his platform and his stardom for the greater good, man. And that is just phenomenal, man. Again, I have more respect for him today than anything because he's literally trying to fight. And it's sad because if you look around, even in the stream, you probably know somebody who has died, right? And it really sucks. Although I was saying the crack epidemic of the 80s and then like the early 2000s for early to mid 2000s was that OxyContin opiate like epidemic. Right after that opiate epidemic, a lot of people went to street heroin. Their pills that they were taken and prescribed by a legal drug dealer and a doctor, those little paper prescriptions quickly turned into raging heroin addictions because Barack Obama literally put a stop to all those pain clinics and doctor shopping and stuff like that. So what are you going to do with all those addicts? You're not going to give them treatment. Where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go right out onto the streets. And that's what do you think happened to me? Same damn thing. Same damn thing. And every addict that I talked to who went, opiate addict, especially pills, then heroin. Fortunately for me, I never got into that fentanyl shit. I really didn't. I had it one time, and one time was enough to scare me to say, fuck this shit. I'm done. Because I literally did a tiny bit and it put me out and I had to be revived yet again. And that scared me. And I was like, never again. It was in 2014. It was on Halloween evening. So I declared my day of sobriety as November 1st of 2014. And I ain't touched it since. And I never will, and if you have a platform such as this or anywhere, if you have any sort of social media following, the best thing you could do is help people that are currently struggling with what you once struggled with. And I like that he is a philanthropist. He is giving back all of the good things that he does, and people judge Jelly Roll by his appearance, like, oh, he's got face tattoos. He does a lot better than for anybody else than the people that make fun of him do while they're sitting there trolling and making fun of him on the internet. They're sitting on their asses doing nothing but bitching about Jelly Roll's tattoos. So I really do appreciate the fact that he went to the Senate. That's amazing. Tim Scott was there. I saw John Kennedy there. It's a good thing to see, and I hope he makes his way to Capitol Hill, and I hope he makes it all the way to the White House himself and he tells that idiot in chief to close the border, because I guarantee you, if Hunter Biden was dealing with fentanyl instead, we wouldn't be seeing this, right? So crack epidemic, OxyContin set the world on fire, heroin addicts, and now the fentanyl. It's been going on for decades. And unfortunately, he did say something that really makes it hard. When you have a demand, there's always going to be supply. Always. So I'll be following this to make sure that something gets done about it, because I've lost a lot of people too, like a lot. And I'm really grateful that I didn't become a statistic. You guys, it's scary. That's a scary way to live. It really is. You better stay from the way. Right. Yes. Yes. He better stay away from the White House. Oh, I love his wife too. She's such a sweetheart, Miss Bunny. She's awesome. Yeah. See, you did heroin first, not me. I was the pain pills first. And I just went to a doctor and I seen him one time. I got in a little fender bender, right? And I bent over because it did the range of motion, but I didn't bend over as far as I could. I just pretended like I could only do like about a 25-degree angle, right? And before he sent me for MRIs or x-rays, he sent me packing with 8 Percocet a day. Yeah, like 240 of them a month. I was like, holy shit, this guy. And I already heard from people around me that this doctor will give you like anything you want. And it wasn't just 5 milligram Percocet either. It was 10 milligram like that off of rip. Now he's still in practice today. I don't know how, but yeah, that was in early 2000s. And I started taking pills, I think because of my past, because of the traumas that I endured as a child and late teen, into my early 20s. It was a lot of trauma, so I self-medicated like everybody else. And it was a terrible experience. I don't wish it on anybody. I really don't. But there is hope and people do recover. They do. And I hope that everybody that is sick and suffering right now finds their way. I really do pray for people that are sick and suffering today more than anything, because I want them to look at themselves in the mirror and like see that, okay, doing this, I will die. If I stop, I will live. It's that simple, right? I just want them to say those 5 magical words that I said to myself. Are they curse words? Yeah. Yeah, they are. But they are 5 magical words I shall never forget. And I think I might have said them earlier. Fuck this shit. I'm done. That was it. And that was it. It was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. Victimless crimes, far from it. Drugs are, you see so many people today. So that's just a victimless crime. How is selling drugs? Oh, how does that get victims? Well, because the person that's buying the drugs has a bunch of children, or they have children, or they have loved ones who care about them. Those are the victims. Are those drug addicts stealing from people that they love to get their drugs? There's a victim. There, it's crazy. It really is. There is tons of victims when it comes to drug addiction. And I really do hope and pray that this comes to an end, because I'll tell you what, losing 200 to 300 people per day it's crazy. It far surpassed motor vehicle accidents a long time ago, like back in 2012. Did you know that? And also, it is the leading cause of death in America right now. It surpasses cancer, it surpasses heart disease, it surpasses everything. You would think that seeing that many people dying, they do something about it. This life matters over the other, but really, do any lives matter? Do any lives matter when a simple fix could be A, B, and C? No, of course not, because they can't come together for anything like that. But if it is for keeping insider trading and anything that benefits them financially, oh boy, can they come together real quick. It's sickening. It's sickening. It sickens me. And I hope and pray that things get better very soon. Oh, let's see. That wasn't how my kids got started, unfortunately. At least I could blame something. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter how you get started. I think a lot of kids who have underlying traumas, or traumas that were untreated, or traumas that are just, they last with you a lifetime. It's much easier to self-medicate, numb yourself, than deal with those traumas and face those traumas and work through those traumas. It's easier. It really is. It's easier. And it took me 2 years to really start thinking correctly again after my brain was so saturated. It did. It took me 2 years, and your brain does rewire itself after a few years. It does make, instead of you looking to drugs for that dopamine and those serotonin boosts, it does fix itself eventually. Unfortunately, like, I knew people who had health consequences far after when they had quit using. They had to deal with, like, I had a friend that destroyed all of her veins, and she had so much scar tissue. She had to have surgery on her veins because she just blew them all out. I had several friends that had caught hepatitis C, and a couple of them died from pancreatitis and from the hep C combined. It was just not good. A lot of friends died from overdoses. Lots. I knew a girl that had died because she had so much plaque in her arteries. It was buildup from some sort of cut that they put in the drugs. Her arteries were like completely blocked with this cutting agent, and it killed her. So sometimes, we have to pay the piper after we get sober. I got sober, and 2 weeks later I was sitting in prison. But if I didn't go to prison, I don't know if you and I would be talking today. I really don't. I don't think that I would be able to sit here and go, yo, I just celebrated 9 years on the 1st of November. What's up? I don't think I could. I think I needed to sit that time out. And again, like, 3 years in prison for some phone calls was really, like, crazy, especially when, like, you look at, the privilege that politicians' sons have, and you're just like, wow, that's really messed up. It's really disheartening, and I take it personally. And I take it personally where you have people still to this day sitting in prison for the crime bill, you know? And dude can be caught on camera, record himself all over the camera, and be absolutely fine. It's crazy. It really is. It's disheartening. It's disheartening, but they've been used to getting away with things for so long that I don't think anything is going to come of it. I honestly don't. I think Hunter Biden will never know what accountability is. He has been enabled far too long. He's like, what, in his 50s now? And that dude has never been held responsible for his crimes at all. Like, it's insane. Like, that dude, screw the silver spoon that he has in his mouth. Can I get, like, lack of accountability for 1,000, Alex? Like, God, nobody here could say the same. We can't afford that. We don't have the luxury of that, and all the people sitting in prison for stupid drug crimes, can they say the same? Nope. It's crazy, guys. It really is. So I want to show you guys this website really quickly. I know like some of you guys out there, you may vape, you may chew, you may smoke cigarettes. I urge you guys, I haven't smoked for like 2 Decembers now, and it's the best decision I've ever made. God, I can't stand the smell of cigarettes now. It makes me profusely sick. It burns my nose. And when somebody like my friend is a cigarette smoker, and when you hug her, you're like, "Oh, I love you," but fucking shit, you stink, motherfucker. What do you come on, ew, you know? So I want to show you guys this because I do have a message from my sponsor, because thank you, Zippix Toothpicks, for sponsoring me, because as you guys know, we have been bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. We have been demonetized. Oh crap. Guess what? So that's great that they literally did that and are willing to sponsor my channel, or my, so that I can make some money for doing this, because it's all been for free. My goodness, it has. Everything will be linked in my description. Donation links, Patreon, My Pillow, General Flynn, I'm Blackout Coffee, and Zippix, of course. So everything, if you want like stuff for a discount, I got you guys. And my promo code is all the same as Just Jen. But I wanted to show you guys this. I want to navigate this website for you guys really quickly. Bear with me. I want to show you this because as soon as you get into zippixtoothpicks.com, you have to click, are you 21 and over? Yes. Yes, I am. And I want to read this really quick. I love this. I love what they sent me. This episode is brought to you by Zippix Nicotine Toothpicks. Zippix brings you a totally satisfying, convenient, and great tasting way to curb your nicotine cravings. I will improvise, by the way, because you know me, man. I can't stick to a script if my life depended on it. All right, here's the products. And I did show this yesterday. Again, they have like nicotine free. This is the nicotine free ones, you guys. 30 milligrams of caffeine. This one's got B12 and caffeine in it. And they do have the bundle and save, plus the little cool, like, boop, the little popper thing that I have. It's pretty neat. Listen, y'all, it's 2024. Don't you think now would be a great time to stop putting shit into your lungs? Start the new year off without inhaling smoke and those nasty vape oils. They are definitely not safer than cigarettes. I was one of those people that really thought that. Zippix are perfect for flights, sporting events, restaurants, and literally everywhere else that smoking and vaping has been banned. They're also one of the most cost-effective nicotine products on the market. They also offer the caffeine and B12 infused toothpicks if you're not a nicotine user, or if you're trying to get away from your nicotine habit. Zippix has already helped tens of thousands of customers in leading a healthier lifestyle. And if you currently smoke or vape, they could probably help you too. Make your lungs happy and try Zippix nicotine toothpicks. Ditch the cigarettes, ditch the vape, and get some nicotine infused toothpicks at zippixtoothpicks.com today. Get 10% off your first order by using the code JustGen at checkout. Your lungs will thank you. I put that in there. You must be 21 years of age or older to order. Warning, warning, warning. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix nicotine toothpicks. Woo! How did I do? Did you like that? Now, I ain't no Ben Shapiro and I ain't no Matt Walsh, but I am me. And I'm proud to be me today, because if I was the me of yesteryear, y'all wouldn't like me at all. I looked bad, I smelled bad, and I was just overall a shitty human being. I'm not going to lie. I really was. A lot of people can't admit that, when they're using drugs, they think that they're so cute. You think you're cute. You think that you look good. My God, man. I will never forget my ex-boyfriend. We broke up, of course, and he saw me at the gas station. Oh, here I'm thinking I was kind of like just trying to get the hell in and out, here's money for my gas, get me the hell out of here. I have to have shit to do. After I got sober, after I got home from prison and stuff, right, I had a chance to reconnect with him, and he was like, "Girl, do you remember when I saw you at the gas station?" And I was like, And he goes, yeah. He's like, we talked, and he goes, you look like an absolute train wreck. And he's like, you look so much better today. I'm like, gee, thank you. You never want to hear that you looked really bad, but I did. Like, if I look at pictures now, I had no color in my face. I was gray. I looked really bad. I looked like Night of the Living Dead. And I don't know if you guys have seen Philadelphia lately. Holy shit, balls of fire, you guys. Come on. Like, if you know anybody who lives in Philadelphia, the Kensington neighborhood. If you ever wondered what it would look like if The Walking Dead left the A&E channel and hopped into real life, that's where you find it. Now, Kensington in Philadelphia has always been known as a heavily populated area for drugs, just like the Tenderloin District in San Francisco, just like Skid Row in LA. It has always been known where you get your drugs, At today, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you just type in KEN and the search goes brrr, and it just fills up because there are so many people documenting this. And the Democrat leaders of Pennsylvania are going at it all wrong. We even have John Fetterman these days going, the border's messed up. And what the hell is going on over in South Africa? What happened with Hamas and Israel was wrong. He's sounding more and more like a Republican, like every day. He's not making any sense. I want to show you really quickly, guys. This video is Street Souls, and I don't want to pick, like, they have videos that are like hours long. But I don't want to show hours. I just want to show a very quick video. Oh, the newest thing on the streets, you guys. I want you to watch your kids. Oh, Jelly Roll, when he said this, it is the truest shit on the internet. Children are 50% less likely to use drugs and get involved with drugs if you talk to them about drugs at your table, at your kitchen table. While you're eating dinner, the best thing you could do is tell them, hey, listen, please be careful. My son, my oldest son, let me tell you something. He gets sick of how often I talk to him about, hey, did you hear about this? Let's be careful. Let's be mindful. He gets so pissed at me, but it's my job as a parent. And look, he don't do drugs. I'm lucky. He does smoke weed here and there, but who cares? That's only weed. Anyways, I want to show you this life-threatening wounds. This is probably like going to be pretty gross. So if you can't handle gross, just scroll past or come back later. But this is called Trank, and it is called xylitol. And they are mixing that with fentanyl. And this is the most dangerous stuff that they have out there. Not only is it causing these grotesque sores on people, but it's very deadly. This is what's killing a lot of people today because the fentanyl mixed with, since the fentanyl is a synthetic opiate, they mix it with the animal tranquilizer known as xylitol, and it's Narcan resistant. So they're giving people the Narcan and it ain't even working. So please talk to your children about this, you guys. It is the most important, probably one of the most important things you could do as a parent is be mindful of what is going on. Check this out.
Let's talk about farts. Did you know that according to the Cleveland Clinic, the average person produces up to 3 pints of gas every single day? That's almost half a gallon of gas just sitting inside your stomach.
Did that not take you guys by surprise? Because that took me by surprise. Let's talk about farts. No, thank you. I don't want to talk about farts. Oh my God. I'm over here like, I'm a girl. I don't fart.
I'm going to show it when he wants me to show this one.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
I'm all right.
Can I see your face?
Oh my
What's
God.
your name, man?
Matt,
Matt, nice to meet you, Matt. Where you from?
originally from this neighborhood, Kensington.
Okay, you from here?
Yeah,
How old are you?
I'm 36.
What?
Okay.
I was going to say, like, this dude's got to be like in his 30s, and he's literally younger than I am. This poor soul. I don't see this guy as a criminal. I don't see this guy as a bad human being. I don't see him as, oh my God, what a junkie. He's gross. I see him as a tortured soul. That's what I see him as.
What's it like being out here, man? Living out here. You live out here?
Yeah, I've been here since I was on the street since I was 29.
Wow.
Off and on. I'm 36 now. I mean, when I got here, it was nothing like that.
Oh, say that again?
Between here and jail, my dad was killed in a car accident. And 7 months later, my mom overdosed and died. Me and my sister had a falling out.
I'm sorry to hear about your losses, man. I know it's been rough for you.
Yeah, it has been rough, but I haven't talked to my sister in a couple years, and it kills me.
The audio.
That's my fault.
bad.
I stopped falling. She said,
What's your
"Leave
drug
her
of
alone."
choice, sir?
Heroin, fentanyl.
And fentanyl?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Can I have your name one more
Matt.
time?
Matt.
Matt, right?
Oh my God. That's my son's name.
Right, Matt. What did you want to be growing up?
No, I was really into sports, hockey. Mainly, probably a hockey player, from what I remember.
Hockey? You was a hockey player?
Really,
How many years of hockey you had in?
no, I just wanted to be one. I didn't really play, but really, I wanted to be like my dad.
Okay, that's cool, man. But what's the status with your family right now?
There is none.
I'm talking about your other family members. I'm sorry to hear about the deaths.
Nobody talks to me. My sister won't talk to me. I'm just, no matter what, I'm out
Do
here.
they know what type of condition you're in right now?
Yeah, my sister's got, no, she got friends that come through here, and she's only a year and 8 months younger, so we're in the same age group for friends and all.
Oh my God.
She just turned 34 July 6th. So it's,
I'm going to skip forward to where it's pretty bad. What a sad story, though. Like, your brother is out on the streets. The mother had died from an overdose, but you know, his sister is like, no, I'm not going to. Let me pause.
Can you show me?
Let me show this. We're going to get into his wounds really quickly, but his sister is probably like, he steals from me. I can't have him in my house, or she has children, and that fentanyl stuff, it goes through your skin. You could just touch it, you could breathe it in, and you're done. It'll kill you. You know, you can't have that around children. You just can't. It's too dangerous. And I'm guessing that she's probably told him one too many times to clean up your act, and you could come home. And you know, unfortunately, them drugs are so powerful. All he's thinking about is, how am I going to get money so that I'm not dope sick? And unfortunately, with this fentanyl stuff, it's so fast acting. It's getting into your system really quickly, and it's leaving your system very quickly. And so it's not fat soluble, it's water soluble. It doesn't have to pass through your fat layers. That's why it's so dangerous. That's why it hits people as hard as it does. And then when it's leaving your body, it feels like you just got hit by a Mack truck. All he's thinking about is, how am I going to get money so that I'm not sick? And that's a cycle that he is completely in all day long. It's every addict like this. It's a perpetual cycle that has to keep going, a vicious cycle. And the fear of being dope sick trumps everything when your brain is constantly going, hey, guess what? I will feel better if you smoke me, or smoke some fentanyl, or put some in your vein, or, you snort it. It'll make you feel better. Unfortunately, it is just a trick that it's playing on you. Addiction has got the most vicious claws that I think I have ever had to deal with. I'd rather get scratched by a Siberian tiger, right? I'd rather be in the paws of a Siberian tiger than ever be in the thralls of addiction again. Okay. I'd rather play with tigers wearing a meat suit. So let's see. Speaking of meat suits, your largest organ is your skin. And this stuff is doing so much damage to your soft tissue. It's making your tissue necrotic. It's killing people's skin. I don't know if you guys remember, like in the mid 2000s, they had this Russian like heroin that was mixed with like gasoline, and it was called crocodile. or crocodile, and it was doing the same thing. So it's back. It's Crocodile 2.0.
Can you show me the wounds, man?
Oh boy. Viewer discretion advised.
Oh my. Oh my. That's what the trick's doing to your skin. Are you still shooting in that area?
No, I don't.
Nah.
Oh
That's
my
good, I guess. You slow
God.
down on shooting?
No, but yeah, shit's getting harder out here.
How many bags do you use a day?
It's always different. It's anywhere from 4 to maybe a bundle, depending.
A bundle
really
is
different
10
out here.
bags.
Can you show me your other wound?
A bundle would be 10 bags.
This
And
is the one I had to
oh
learn.
my God.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
The hospital, they couldn't do anything for you. What made you
All
leave?
they do is put cream on. I didn't leave. I got discharged.
You got discharged? Why they discharge you like that? They
I
should
don't-
have kept you.
Because they, in their minds, I'm only going for the wound.
Oh my God.
Like I had MRSA and Temple never told me.
Okay.
Walked around with for 3 weeks with MRSA. So I went to
Are you
Presbyterian.
dealing with any pains off the wounds?
Oh, no.
No pains?
No. I never have had pain.
Well, I'm going to tell you why you're not having pain, sir. You're not having pain because you are tranquilized. You are literally taking a painkiller, and that is why. Once that painkiller wears off, you are going to be feeling that necrotic tissue. That is very painful. I've been through abscesses, but I have never been through anything like that. Remember, you guys, this is a human being. This is not just some junkie on the street whose arms are literally about to fall off. You know, this is a human being. This is somebody's son. This is somebody's brother. This is somebody's uncle. This is somebody's friend, you know, and we don't have treatment out there. They would rather decriminalize the drugs and make safe injection sites and give away free drugs. The Biden administration is giving away free drugs in California, especially the California Governor Newsom. Free crack pipes, free syringes, safe injection spots, Narcan vending machines. They're literally causing more people to die and go through this. Unfortunately, you cannot arrest your way through drug addiction. You have to treat the addiction. You have to treat the underlying trauma that's leading these people to addiction, to using, because if you don't treat the underlying symptoms, you're not going to be able to treat the addiction. And that is the best thing that we could do for people, is offer them mental health assistance rather than, here, let's give you some free clean needles. I get it that cuts down on like the HIV and the Hep C rates, but damn it, when there's people on the streets like this, there's human feces. Hep B is out of control, you know, and it's happening in where is this happening? And what are the states? What color are the states? Unfortunately, they are blue. They are all blue states. The Democrat ran states are falling apart. Oregon, shithole. Washington, shithole. California. I feel terrible for my Northern Californians who are conservative because, well, the liberal progressive left policies are turning it into an absolute shithole. So all these blue states, look at Massachusetts, Boston. This goes on in Boston too. It doesn't happen in red states. It's not happening. You'll never see a video of a bunch of people like this in Florida. You're not going to see it in Texas. You don't see it in Ohio. In East Cleveland, you'll see it because why? Cleveland is ran by Democrats. They don't give a shit about people. They really don't. They want to tear it down so they can rebuild it. That's what they want to do. It's a great replacement theory. And if you look like me, we're going to be a part of that great replacement theory.
Because the horse tranquilizer?
This poor guy.
Guessing so.
This is a human being.
I guess so.
Oh, yeah,
I
Chicago.
don't really know, but
Is it hard moving around?
no.
Oh, no.
My legs it's hard.
Your legs have wounds also?
I'm
It has
sorry.
one, but it's not that bad. But what it is when you have a blood infection, certain areas lock up. I was there. I was there not that long ago.
I'm sorry for. I'm
Certain like my
sorry.
knees, my ankles, they still are like tight.
How do people treat you out here, Matt?
It all depends how they look at this lifestyle.
Jelly Roll's
The
4
lifestyle?
years younger than
Yeah.
me.
I mean, I try to say
He was born in
these people, I
84.
understand how they feel. My mom was an addict when I was growing up.
Where do you see yourself in the next 6 months?
Honestly, hopefully not here. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Oh my
Are you
God.
afraid to die, Matt?
Probably not.
Yes, but no.
Say that again.
Yes, but no.
Yes, but no. Once you get clean, Matt, what's the first thing you gonna do?
Go see my sister.
Okay, you miss him, huh?
Told you.
Any kids?
Nah,
No, that's good. You see yourself getting married one day, man?
not really.
Not really. Why not?
He is married.
There's a
Ben,
lot
no.
into that. And I have to worry about myself if I get to that point of being clean and all that.
What type of impact has Kensington had on your life, Matt?
Everything up to in the past, everything really right now, and especially the past 5 years. Almost my whole family, both sides of my family are from the neighborhood. So it's hard. Like I gotta sometimes not try to see people all that. I don't say nothing to people when I just try to duck them.
That's really sad. Now, I wanted to play this whole video out, but the chances are, that Matt's not going to get any help. The sores on this man's arms are just he's one step away from getting his limbs amputated. And this is happening all over. And this guy was filming, and there's like a dead bird, like a dead pigeon, like right there. This is so much disease in this Kensington area, same with San Francisco. I wonder what San Francisco looks like today. They cleaned it up in Governor Newsom cleaned it up in less than 24 hours because Xi Jinping says, I will not come to San Francisco until you clean this shit up. And they did. They rolled out the red carpet for Xi Jinping. They can do that for a communist leader, but they can't do that for Americans. Out of all the money that they sent over to Ukraine and funding all of these wars, they could have fixed this problem 100 times over. They're not. And it makes me feel so bad for this man because although my addiction, I look at it, it was like spanned 8 years, you guys. And I can't look at him and think that I was any better because I wasn't. And I am no better than this man. I feel really bad because he's wrapping his arms to probably keep the flies away and stuff like that. But like, oh, I can't look down on him. I can't. He's a human being. And the first thing he said, when I get clean, I'm going to go see my sister. I hope he can. I sincerely hope he can. As gnarly as those sores are on his arms, that's just the beginning. Like he's going to need skin grafts and everything. This is terrible that we have American citizens walking around like this. And this is just one video. If you really want to get a deep dive into the rabbit hole of Kensington, you're going to see white, black, Hispanic, young, old, well, not very old because there's no such thing as an elderly drug addict. It takes them well before that. You're going to see fat, skinny, such a diverse group of people, but they all have one thing in common, and that is underlying trauma that severely needs to be treated. I've seen people that have these wounds on them, and they got maggots in them, which fortunately the maggots actually eat the necrotic flesh away, and it actually does these wounds a favor, but there are these mobile units that the city of Philadelphia has started sending out to like pack these wounds and keep them sterile, but he's wrapping up the same t-shirt over, and he says he's not in pain, but his body language is telling me a very different story. It's also telling me that I can see his legs are swollen. One of them is bigger than the other one. Yeah, he's got more than just on his arms. It's bad. And it's not because he was injecting here either. That pops up anywhere, just like a skin abscess would. Like if you are using a needle over and over again, sometimes, a little bit of bacteria gets in, into your skin, and then you get an abscess over here on your hip, and you're like, where did that come from? And it's bad. But once that gets into the bloodstream, you're a goner, and he said something really sad that, and I knew, are you afraid of dying, Matt? I am, but I'm not. It's probably going to be a big sigh of relief because he spends all day trying to find his fix and find money, I just pray that this man finds and gets the help. But at the rate we're going right now with the policies that Philadelphia has, that San Francisco has, that LA has, they're not addiction friendly. They fuel the addiction. It's like throwing a bunch of kerosene on the fire of addiction. But it's not helping. It's not helping treat the underlying reasons why people self-medicate. And once they start figuring that out, unfortunately, I think it'll be too late. These politicians will never know until it's their family members that are dealing with it. But you won't hear about that. It'll be hush hush. It'll be so secretive because they protect themselves like that. They don't let that get out into the media or anything because the media is paid off too. It's really shameful. But hope and pray that he really does get his life together and that he does get treatment. He was having a hard time talking. He's under the influence. I could tell his pupils are really pinpointed. That's an opiate. That's a telltale sign of an opiate. Their pupils are so small that you can basically not see a pupil. It's just the iris. It's completely different from, let's say, stimulants where, Hunter Biden, we're watching his videos and his pupils are big as saucers. That's all you're seeing is pupil. Where'd the iris go? Can't see. Man, it's just tragic. So he's nodding out, and he can barely talk. He's got his eyes closed. He's just mumbling, he's incoherent, but that's because he's under the influence. And I don't judge him. I really don't, because, a lot of people are one step away from addiction themselves. A lot of the COs in prison when I was there were so mean to me. And I'm like, look, you're one mistake from being in here yourself. So pound salt. Here's some shorts.
A zombie drug is sweeping through America right now. Eerie footage coming out of Philadelphia shows crowds of people slouched over but still standing. The insane part is that this is a common scene in almost every
Look at her,
city in America.
folded like a
They
chair.
look like they are conscious, but not at the same time. The drug they are on is called xylazine, or more commonly known
Look,
as
every
Crack.
color.
It is known to place people into a zombie-like state where they are unable
Oh
to
my
move
God.
and seem to lose all awareness. People using the drug are put into a complete trance and can be seen walking around like an animal. The drug causes infections of the
Every
limbs,
color.
which most commonly result in amputations. It has been described as being so addictive that even a single accidental hit of it could get you hooked. Trank is now in about 90% of Philadelphia's drug supply. and
Look at
can
her
be
bent
commonly
over
found
like a
in low-income
folding chair.
areas of almost all U.S. cities. You can walk downtown right now and most likely see people like this. A zombie drug is
That's so terrible.
DTM Earth today, we are going to tell you about a region where zombies live. Before that,
It's really sad that they're calling these people zombies because they wouldn't be saying that if it was their sister or their mother.
watch this video for a moment.
But it does look like a zombie apocalypse.
Have
I
you
do
seen a
agree.
zombie movie? Anyone who has seen a zombie movie understands that there is not much difference between these people and zombies. This is Kensington, America's poorest city.
All right, yeah. I mean, I agree to an extent, but it's kind of...
Here you go. Hey, you all right? Come on, get up, get up,
He can.
get up. You all right? Are you ODing down here?
There was just a guy. I can't play no more, you guys. I really can't stomach it anymore. It's just like I don't get triggered by this anymore. I can see this type of thing, and it's like maybe if I was still fresh in recovery, I would be like running for like the phone, but anymore I just look at it like, man, I am so grateful I'm not there anymore. I really am. So it would be very hypocritical of me to look down on these people and go, ha ha, look at you. You know, that's terrible. I guess they are deeming it a zombie drug because just like that Flocka stuff, remember that it was pretty big like 10 years ago. People were going crazy, and even in prisons, you guys, drugs are readily available. K2 is one of the spice, it's known as one of the largest drugs that is consumed in the prisons these days. There's videos about that. There was just a case of a man who they're claiming was killed by police, when in fact, no, he wasn't. You know, it was a white guy actually, and there were police officers coming up. He was well known, and when they found him in a slumped state, very incoherent, not unconscious completely. When they had given the guy Narcan because they knew of his past, he got violent and started swinging on the police officers, and they were like, yo, dude, stop. And he had a pit bull next to him, and the pit bull kind of like lunged at the police but didn't attack them, as if he understood, hey, they're just trying to help my dad here. Anyways, because of the xylitol that is Narcan resistant, that Narcan wears off like that. Usually with an opiate overdose, the antagonist is Narcan or naloxone, and what it does is it reverses the effects of opiates and or an opiate overdose. Yeah, if you're talking about old school China white or black tar, but we're not talking about the synthetic fentanyl that is manufactured by China to be 100 times more potent than heroin, right? So, of course, the regular 2 milligram dosage of Narcan is not going to work. Or, you know, typically for a normal opiate addict where heroin, I don't even know if there's any on the streets anymore. I think all has been replaced by fentanyl and xylitol. Now, when a heroin addict is hit with Narcan, you know, they are supposed to be monitored. They're supposed to be kept in the hospital to be monitored so that if the Narcan wears off, they don't re-overdose, because that does happen, and it has happened to me before. So I know. Now, when the fentanyl was introduced, it's stronger. It's way stronger than street heroin is. So the Narcan is not as effective. And now you add a bunch of xylitol to it. And guess what? It is like you might as well throw water on them. That's it. It's not working. So this guy was given Narcan in his nose, right? In his mucous membrane, as they call it. And it was not effective. So this man overdosed no matter how much. And I believe they gave him another round. So 4 milligrams of Narcan. It wasn't strong enough. They're blaming the police officers again. Like, are you serious? We're going to be blaming the cops for people overdosing? No, that's so wrong on so many levels. Like, look, man, they are not miracle workers. They are not paramedics. They're not EMTs. They're not trained medically, you know? So they did call a squad, but unfortunately, that stuff is so quick to kill people that the guy died, you know? And of course, the media is slamming these cops as killers and da 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 da, when unfortunately that man basically committed suicide. That's what happened. He unalived himself. You know, and it's unfortunate because you don't know the dose. Like Matt over here, you know, the guy that we were just talking about with the sores, he was saying it depends. You know, it depends on, you know, my daily use depends. I could only need 4 bags, which is a $10 little like wax paper fold, or I'm going to need a whole ass bundle, meaning 10 bags, because the potency is not there like, the supplier over here gives me, where I only need 4 to function. Unfortunately, it can work the other way too, where these people are getting these batches that are so potent that goodbye, lights out. It's not consistent. It's not pharmaceutical grade. It's made by some morons in a jungle somewhere who don't have your best interest at hand. It's really it is chemical warfare, and it's killing far too many people. So many young kids from the ages of 12, infants. I was in prison with a girl who brought her 18-month-old or 15-month-old daughter to a trap house. This 15-month-old got a case of like one of those little wax paper folds, put it in her mouth. She died. 15-month-old baby. And you see that all over the news. Just recently, there was a daycare in Brooklyn that was actually it was a front. Their daycare was a front for them selling fentanyl. And what happened? There was a 2-year-old little boy that got a hold of the fentanyl somehow, some way, and he died. And, that chick, Erica, I don't remember her last name, but she was sentenced to 5 years in prison because, you took your daughter to a dope house, and inevitably she's going to have to live with that for the rest of her life, knowing that her actions took the life of her child. And we'll see so many people that are there's a hashtag out there, forever 16, forever 15, forever 14, forever 17, because they got a hold of fentanyl, and now they're going to be forever 17 or 16 or 14 because they thought it was a pill. So it's very important for you guys to educate your children. My son was just going off to college his first year. It was his very first semester. And I'm like, Matt, look, man, there's these pills. And I showed him a picture of Percocet 30s. And I said, look, can you tell if this is real fentanyl or real Percocet? I'm sorry. Can you tell if this is real Percocet or what do you think it is? He goes, yeah, that's real Percocet. That's what it says here. I says, no, what it is fentanyl. How about this Adderall over here? Do you think this is real Adderall or do you think it's fentanyl? Oh, that's definitely Adderall. It says Adderall on there. No, it's fentanyl. What about this Xanax bar over here? Do you think this is Xanax bar? Oh, yeah, it says Xanax on there. No, Matt. Third time, it's actually fentanyl. And he said something to me that worried me so badly. I said, if you're at a party and somebody offers you a pill, please don't take it. And I said, make sure that if these blue pills that are mimicking Percocet, you go nowhere near them, Oh, here, take this Adderall to help you study more. Matthew, please don't. He goes, yeah, you can only trust it if it's in a prescription bottle. And I was like, oh, you're so book smart, kid, but you are so naive when it comes to street smarts. People can put fake Percocet in a real pill bottle that they may have gotten from their parents' medicine cabinet, or they got it from their sister, or they picked it up from the damn trash. It could just, unless you go to a doctor yourself, that you go to the freaking pharmacy, to fill the prescription, they hand you that bottle. That is what you trust. You don't trust nothing. Nobody has. And just recently when he went back, this is now he's got like 2 years left. I'm like, look, bro, the Adderall now, that's what they're doing. They're mimicking every pill out there, and it's actually fentanyl. I said, so I don't care how tired you are. You call me, I will overnight some blackout coffee to you. But please, guys, educate your kids, because you don't want to be that parent that gets that phone call that, hey, you got to come identify your child. They're in the morgue, and the opiate overdoses, the fentanyl overdoses are getting so bad. It's overwhelming the morgues, and they have to have like these off-site refrigeration units and pop-up morgues because it's that bad. And I hate to say it, but like, I don't, And I'm praying like hell that maybe, just maybe, one of these politicians high up gets that phone call so something can change, because what the fuck is it going to take? How many more Americans have to die for them to finally do something about it? But when they have ulterior motives, I guess people dying from fentanyl is just a casualty, right? I don't know, you guys. It's very sad. Again, be very staunchly uh when you're approaching this. This is not a friend to friend type thing. This is a parent to a child. And you have to put your parental big girl or big boy pants on and go, look, I love you and I know what I went through, and I'll be damned if you ever go through this, because like Matt had said, right? And there's a reason why I clicked on that video. There's a reason for everything, you guys. When he said my mother was an addict, it's genetic. When you use fentanyl or these opiates, it changes your DNA structure. And guess what? When you have offspring, it passes it down to your children. Thankfully, my Matt wasn't I didn't start using opiates until he was 3 years old. But my little one, dad addict, mom addict. So guess what? I'm going to be like a goddamn hawk watching that kid. He ain't going out of my sight, because I am afraid. I am deathly afraid that he will get into something when he's older. It scares the living hell out of me. But if you're proactive and if you are not afraid to talk to your kid, oh no, you're so annoying, dad or mom, you're so annoying. Yeah, well, I love you and I don't want you dead. There is that. If you're proactive and your child is 50% less likely or more, I think it's more by now, 50 to 60% less likely to use drugs if you do educate your children at that kitchen table. What do you have to lose? You know, you don't have to lose much. But again, I think a lot of parents these days too, you don't get involved with your children. A lot of people out there, I'm not saying anybody, I'm not accusing anybody here, but I've seen this personally. Here, give your 3-year-old a telephone. Give them a tablet. Put them in front of the TV. No. You need to be a hands-on parent. And if they call you a helicopter parent, or, oh, my parents always over, oh, well, I'm not going to live to regret that one day. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm really grateful y'all stuck around this long. And I'm really grateful for Zippix, for Blackout Coffee, for My Pillow, for every sponsor that I have that has helped me through this difficult time. But, you know, it's more to me than just sponsorships. It's more to me than just money. What it is for me is, hey, look, I've been through this and I made it. Let me help you. Let me show you how you make it. And like Jelly Roll did, I might make my way up to Senate myself. Like, let's go. And if he needs help, he can always call me. I will back him up. You know, like I need to back him up. I'm 5'2" and 120 pounds, and he's this huge, massive, like corn-fed, big old country bumpkin that like I could never like have his back. But you get it. You get what I mean. All right, y'all. I really appreciate you. Please, 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 if you do yourselves any favors whatsoever, just be educated. That's all. And please don't ever look down on somebody who's going through this. These are humans, no matter what they look like. If they look like zombies, it's because probably they don't want to feel what has happened to them in life, you know? All right, y'all. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for joining me. Make sure you're subscribed to my Rumble, and everything will be linked in the description. Take care, y'all. I'll see you later. Bye now.